We've got two goals. First, we've got to educate the public all around the world, not only just in the United States, but most of them aren't really aware of the problem, although they are here in northern Texas. Once they know what the problem is, then we can let them know what to do.
Is there anything specific that leads you to believe that we can jog the North Vietnamese into releasing information?
Well, I guess the most specific thing I can say is, let's face it, Hanoi responds to public opinion. And they're worried, if for no other reason, propaganda-wise, around the world with what people think of them. And I hope that, like I say, when this goes worldwide, we're going to have letters not just from the States. We're going, countries like Sweden and South America. We're going to Jaycee International with this. And we're going to try and get all the civilized peoples of the world to raise their voice in unison, and really say, demand that North Vietnam go by the Geneva Accords. And we feel that once they know that people are watching, that's our theme, by the way, the world is watching, that they will respond.
The two Los Angeles attorneys, Walshin and David DeLoache, who came to town last week, got a big surprise when Judge David Brown ordered Watson brought into the courtroom. And Watson testified he did not want to talk with the pair, as they had kept insisting. After Watson was swept out of the courthouse under a tight security cloak, Judge Brown told Walshin and DeLoache that they were under contempt. These are his words. "You have been more brazen than any two so-called lawyers I have ever seen in my life. Your conduct is not only in contempt of this court, it is in contempt of the entire judicial system of which we are supposed to be a part. Now the circus is over. I am going to hold you in contempt of this court. I am going to fine you $100 and order you to jail for 72 hours. I will suspend the punishment on your promise that you will take the next plane back to California and shut your mouths about this case. Now, do you want to promise to leave on the next plane and not make any statement to the press regarding these proceedings, or do you want to go to jail at this time?" The pair decided to leave town. After the court was over, Judge Brown in his chambers told Channel 8 News what happened in today's proceedings.
Gave the movement's relief in that I had Charles Watson brought into the courtroom, but they were not successful, certainly, in their efforts.
Well, why did you have Charles Watson brought in after so many attempts to bring him in were denied by yourself?
I felt that the public interest really required it, because, as I said in my statement in the courtroom, if I had continued to deny any public view, so to speak, of Charles Watson, it would look as of some conspiracy to keep these lawyers from seeing their alleged client.
Charles Watson is still in the Collin County Jail, and Attorney Bill Boyd is now in the so-called driver's seat once again. The next step is just to wait for the extradition hearing. This is Carl Mayo in Collin County for Channel 8 News.
APWA for many years has had a basic stand that adequate and minimum adequate income should be provided for all needy people in this country, not just those in the categorical assistance programs. So APWA is committed to this stand. I think there was a great deal of concern about a specific figure, and very frankly, personally, I'm not sure what that figure should be. But APWA is and has been committed to an adequate income for all people in this country.
The Tarrant County District Attorney Frank Coffey has served notice that at least 4 national companies doing business in Tarrant County will be subject to contempt of court charges if they open their retail stores on consecutive Saturdays and Sundays. Coffey has obtained a temporary restraining order through the 96th Judicial District Court, which bars the sale of goods on Sunday, as these stores have done in the past. The affected companies operate the Spartan Department Store, Atlantic Mills, the Kmart stores, Treasure City Discount Store, and TG&Y. If the stores operate on consecutive Saturdays and Sundays, the owners, managers, and employees can be charged with contempt of court. Coffey says the case against Sunday-Co. Incorporated has taken on a little different perspective, and he's asked for a separate temporary restraining order in that case. This is Gene Thomas, Channel 8 News in Fort Worth.
Well, since I'm from Texas, I'm prejudiced. I think Texas is the best team. They're better balanced than Penn State, but Penn State probably has a slightly better defense. Their defense set up 27 touchdowns this year, but they don't have the offense that Texas has. Only have one running back, and Charlie Pittman, while Texas has all four of theirs.
What kind of chance do you think Notre Dame has against Texas in the Cotton Bowl?
Well, I take this from the Arkansas game. Notre Dame doesn't have the team speed that Arkansas does in getting to the ball, but Texas won't be able to blow out people like Mike McCoy like they did against Arkansas. Texas probably well balanced enough where they can still run against Penn State, but it's be an interesting game
against Notre Dame.
And I think I'm betting on Texas.